Effects on the cardiovascular system. When we explore heart rate, we see a direct reflection of the sympathetic nervous system levels in the previous figure that we left off with in our previous segment. So heart rate decreases in non-REM sleep, decreases even further in tonic REM, but is intense and fluctuates wildly in phasic REM. Based on this knowledge, can you guess when most heart attacks during sleep occur? That would be during phasic REM. While this level of heart rate is not a risk factor for healthy hearts, it can be taxing on people with some cardiovascular vulnerabilities. Respiratory effects. We breathe for many reasons, but primarily to bring oxygen into the body and to expel carbon dioxide. Much of breathing is automatic, but can be overridden by conscious control, such as when talking, singing, holding your breath underwater. Throughout non-REM sleep, the control of breathing is entirely automatic. Breathing slows down, it becomes more regular the deeper that you fall asleep. So overall breathing is deep and regular, especially during M3. Breathing during REM sleep is another story. Breathing rate and depth are very irregular, with a rapid and shallow pattern tending to prevail. Pauses in breathing may occur. The control is much more behavioral during REM, with levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide having very little effect. As a result, the level of oxygen in the blood can be slightly lower than during wakefulness. If pauses in breathing become more extreme, they can become problematic, such as with sleep apnea. During sleep, the cough response is completely suppressed. If the motivation from internal or external irritation becomes strong enough, you will actually wake up to cough. This is often why colds lead to fragmented sleep and why many cold medicines contain cough suppressants. In general, the gastrointestinal system is slowed down during all stages of sleep. Digestive processes are slower throughout all phases of sleep. Gastric acid production is especially decreased in the latter half of the sleep period, unless you have stomach ulcers, in which case your gastric acid production can be 3 to 20 times the normal level, which does not lead to quality sleep. Swallowing rate decreases as you fall asleep and is absent throughout all phases of sleep. Saliva production stops entirely when you sleep, which is not a problem if you sleep with your mouth closed. But sleeping with your mouth open can lead to a hoarse voice, bad breath, and dental problems, especially in older people. Generally, there is a decrease in the speed at which food and waste move through the GI tract during sleep. We see a similar effect on the renal system during sleep. Smaller quantities of urine are produced during non-REM and even less during REM. In both cases, however, the concentration of the urine increases, especially during REM. Your urine gets its yellow color from a pigment that is called urochrome. Thus, the yellow color of urine produced during non-REM is a darker yellow than what is produced while awake, and during REM, darker yet. Effects on the sex organs. There is increased blood flow into the genital area during REM, resulting in an erection in males. Adolescent boys sometimes experience this in non-REM. The percentage of REM that is accompanied by erections peaks in the mid-teen years and declines slowly after that. There are two reasons why males so often wake up with an REM erection. One of them is that most REM occurs in the last half of the sleep period. The other is that REM erections usually outlast REM by about 20 minutes. There is also increased blood flow to the genitals in females during REM, resulting in clitoral erection and increased vaginal lubrication. These effects are obviously less noticeable than the male erection, but are just as important in function. In both cases, you might think of this as a non-sexual testing of the sexual equipment. If you keep a car in storage, you are advised to take it for a spin on the highway every month, even if you don't have anywhere you need to go, just to keep it in working order. Similarly, the sexual equipment is turned on during REM, but not because of sexual arousal. This physical arousal is not linked to sexual arousal, so it does not affect whether or not your simultaneous dream contains sexual content.